My name is Jon Bergdahl. I was born and raised in West London in a place called Hillingdon, and I now live in North London in a place called Finchley. And I want to tell you a little bit about my story, my testimony. I grew up in a Christian household. My dad was a full-time Christian worker. He was a musician, did lots of preaching, teaching in schools and prisons. Sometimes school can feel like a prison, but there was the distinction with his work. And even though I was raised as a Christian, people aren't born Christian. You can be brought up in a Christian household, but actually the Lord works in people, and the Lord was working in me, and I would have always called myself a Christian, but the kind of awakening really happened when I heard a preacher many years ago in 2001 preach on Ezekiel 22, and he said God was looking for someone among the people who would build up the wall and stand before God in the gap on behalf of the people so that God would not have to destroy it, but I found no one. That certainly challenged me at the time. At the time that was written, people were kind of comfortable doing their own things, doing all sorts of crazy stuff, and God said, look, this is ridiculous. Where are the people here that love me and that want to show good news to people? And I found no one. And I thought, well, I'm aware of this good news, and I want to tell people about it and show people that. I drifted off into the wilderness somewhat, but God in his goodness brought me back. And that really is what the Christian life is about. It's about grace. Grace just means being given something you don't deserve. So even though we sin basically means disobeying God, means doing things that puts you out of a right relationship with him. Even though Christians do that, even though we all do that, we can be in a right relationship with God the Father because of what Jesus did. At Easter, he in dying on the cross, it wasn't just some fable story. There's evidence that he was crucified and he rose again. He was crucified, he took the wrath of God for our sin, and he rose up back to life. And if we trust that, then we too will be raised to life even when we pass into death. So do investigate that. It is great news. It's not just good news, it is great news.